everybody. Welcome back. It is The Sports Doctor. I'm Dr. Bob Weil, sports podiatrist. We want to welcome Marjorie Hope. She's the founder and president of America Connected. She's the author of Diplomacy. Marjorie, welcome to The Sports Doctor.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You know, your world of diplomacy, connection, your book, Connect Diplomacy. I think your last name, I don't know if you put it in afterwards or whatever, but it's a great last name to have with everything you do.
Yeah, that's actually my name. And listen, I believe with all the things going on in the world, we always have hope.
I think, give us some background, Marjorie, on yourself and this whole America Connected.
Sure. So I actually was involved with politics, and I realized that it was
Good luck
not.
To you. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, but the was is because I don't like what's happening. It's full of division. And, you know, George Washington said it best because when he was leaving office, he said the downfall of this country will be parties, because that was when parties were just beginning. And unfortunately, what it does is it divides you from what it is you're trying to bring in common to fix with our country. And so the differences are okay to have.
Right, our country or our team.
Yeah,
the world of teammates, or the relationship with the parents and the coaches and the kids, right, and all these other things, which is why I guess when you and I first met, you had asked me, can the Olympics connect us? Good question.
Right.
Great opportunity.
And Olympics actually, in our world with all this division and challenges, it actually does stand as a beacon of hope. And it's a platform. Yeah, it's a platform, though, where nations come together in the spirit of unity and sportsmanship. So the question, can the Olympics unite us? It is a great question, and it does shed light on diplomacy and in promoting connection and understanding. So my whole thing is, look, it's okay to have differences. It's okay to not like somebody or something, but you have to have respect. And through my experiences in diplomacy, I have found that when you respect somebody, that's all it is. That's all it takes to get us to come together. And the Olympics was actually started as just for that reason, to bring nations and people closer together. And it deeply...
Yeah, even at the highest levels of competition, where winning is winning. Of course, participation is a gigantic big deal also. But the tremendous attention to competition shows another example of this. Even at the highest area of tension and pressure, there could be diplomacy with teammates and competitors being able to get along, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why I think it's one of these examples. I thought climate change would be another one. I thought that the pandemic might be another one where we would have a common area of trying to get together. But boy, oh boy, it's and you come out of that world with politics. Good luck to us.
Well, that's actually how I got into America Connected, because I realized we need to connect with each other. And this bit about the politicians dividing us and saying this one's bad and this one's bad and gee, everybody's bad and unless you believe exactly like me, you're bad. But that isn't true. And the Olympics is just a perfect example of this in that the Olympics started actually in 776 BCE, which when you think about it, that was a long time ago. And it started with a series of athletic competitions in their city-states of ancient Greece. And that's so interesting because it's like here it was that they were also trying to bring in diplomacy and bring in what they could to have that respect and have that togetherness and that connection.
Well, you have a great title. The title of your book it sums it all up, which is it's a great word. I don't know, you came out, that connect.
I made the word up, but it's now a word. I actually have it trademarked because it's connected diplomacy.
Yes. Well, again, whether you're talking about a group of teammates, we talk so much on the Sports Doctor with I call it the mental game, whether I have the best athletes in the world on, whether I have their parents on, whether I have their coaches on. Whether we're talking about my first guest, the famous Rick Tellner, he's talking about sportsmanship. And again, this whole idea of what it takes to succeed, whether it's in sports or whether it's out of sports, but the pressures that are involved. So again, the word connect and the word diplomacy, which sometimes I don't know if we give that any kind of thinking, its connection to the world of sports is an interesting one. And that's why the Olympics become such a great example that somehow thousands of years ago they were able to pay attention to some of this stuff compared to downright win at all costs kind of situations where we see the crazy world of drugs in sports, and we see these kinds of the whole pain pill situation with all of these pressures to play, and the kinds of overzealous, crazy parents on the sidelines, the team doctors, and some of this other craziness, abuse that's gone on in all aspects of sports, whether it's the professional level. Dr. Weil, don't you understand? My son's got to play yesterday. What can we do about it? These kinds of pressures, and then we come up with, where does diplomacy fit in? What do you think about that, Marjorie?
Well, and that's right. I mean, look, going back to the Olympics for a second, it does have this unique power to unite people from all corners of the globe. But by bringing together athletes and spectators from all the diverse cultures, nations, and backgrounds, the Olympics actually develops the spirit of international shared humanity, which hopefully teaches people in everyday life that we can get along, we can have respect and understanding as people all come together to celebrate sportsmanship. And that's something that I hope we can bring back to people, because we had it at one point. We did understand each other.
Mixed in. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Social media is kind of disconnected us a bit.
No, the sports psychologists, the psychiatrists, the mental trainers, the teachers, professors from wherever they're from, whatever their vocation, talk so much about what social media, the kind of pressure it's put on these kids or grandmas and grandpas. What's the best website, Marjorie? People can go find out about you and your work.
Anybody can reach me at it's Marjorie Hope at marjoriehope.com, and you can always get in touch with me at Marjorie Hope at itsmarjoriehope.com. It's got everything on there from all the books, America Connected, and again, serving diplomacy is a powerful reminder of our commonalities and potential to get along in this world.
Well, I think the idea of paying attention, gives us an opportunity, again, the Olympics, to pay big attention to cooperation and that whole side of things, even though we are all very, very aware of a lot of these, again, different pressures and what's going on. And we have found in the world of sports psychology, in the world of sports medicine, from pediatricians on up, trainers, school systems, the idea of parents and coaches being good listeners has been something we've stressed and talked about with so many of our different guests over time. The idea, my late great sports psychologist who shared the radio with me in the 90s, Jim Vickery, he would talk to his number one rule for sports parents, Marjorie, was don't be a critic on the way home from the game, and some of these, but the mental game, the whole mental side of things, even at the top of the world with diplomacy or the greatest of athletes, I just think we have to pay much more attention to some of these things. How has the world of medicine, school systems, how do you find them tuning in to these things that you write and talk about?
Well, one of the situations we have going on here is to get back to the basics of what sports is supposed to do. When you're in sports, yes, it's fun. Yes, it can be exciting and challenging at the same time. But you're doing and trying to be the best that you can be. And that's what life is all about. And I have found that people that have been in sports have learned dedication, discipline, direction, and they have that ability to whatever it is they're going to do, they're going to do it the best they can be. And that's what it's all about. Because if you're trying to be the best that you can be, that doesn't mean that you're going to win all the time. It doesn't mean you're going to lose either. But if we're all trying to be the best that we can be, think how great our world will be.
You know, the discipline alone, when you see, again, an Olympian, after the Olympics, they're getting ready to train another 4 years.
Right.
You know, having that kind of mindset is like, it's like from the moon for most individuals, understanding what it takes. You know, I have a chapter in my book, #Hey Sports Parents, called The Prodigy Sports. You know, in sports medicine, we want these kids to experience different sports. We want them to use different parts of the body as much as possible. That's great unless you're a gymnast or a figure skater or a ballet dancer, where at 12 years old, this is all you want to do.
Right.
This is all you want to be paying attention to. So these kinds of pressures, and the more talented your son or daughter is, the more we see the pressures, again, of overuse, over-scheduling, over-tension and pressure. And these are the things that we find we need to be better educating, whether it's the school systems or the traveling teams or the club teams, to be, paying attention to, because there's so much pressure, both physically and mentally. So, again, the cooperation, throwing that word diplomacy, and, again, makes a lot of sense. The earlier, the better. Have you found that there's more and more attention being paid to include these kinds of thoughts?
I do, and it's a mind-body awareness.
Keep it in mind. Keep that exactly in mind, because we're going to be coming right back. We're talking with Marjorie Hope, the author of Connect Diplomacy. When we come back, it's the Sports Doctor. Hey, everybody, we're back. It's the Sports Doctor. I'm Dr. Bob Wild, sports podiatrist. We are speaking with Marjorie Hope. She's the founder and president of America Connected. She's the author of Connect Diplomacy. And we were talking about the Olympics getting us together, this whole idea of cooperation, the pressures, all these things. And Marjorie had brought up before the break this whole mind-body connection, which has become such a big deal in wellness and health and wellness. So, Marjorie, talk a little bit more about some of the important points of the mind-body connection from where you're coming from.
Well, I think it's important that people, especially in the morning, that you take a deep breath, get that anxiety out for the day. We all have it.
Right.
And I always advise people, you can do this by drinking hot tea, any kind of hot beverage, because the steam goes in your nose and out, and it actually makes you slow down and calms you down to say, I can do this. And I always do a little saying that says, thank you for the ability to be me, and thank you for the opportunity to be the best that I can be. And as soon as I say that, it sounds so corny, right? But it actually gets your mind set. It's like a reset. I'm ready. I can go out and do today. I did it yesterday. I can do it today. And it's the balancing of the combination of the mind and body, which is actually the cornerstone of a holistic well-being, because we need to be, our mind needs to be continuously learning. We never stop
It's a
learning.
big topic. Big topic on the Sports Doctor forever has been holistic medicine, Eastern and Western philosophies.
Right.
In so many ways. One of my favorite guests, Teresa Power, she was the founder of International Kids Yoga Day. They have 40 countries, hundreds of thousands of kids participating and paying attention to the mind-body connection. Yoga is a great example. Exercise, and many times, is a great example. Rest and recovery is a big deal. I've been a fan of meditation forever.
Yes.
I think, people need to, whether you're the best athlete in the world or their grandmother, you need to spend 10, 15 minutes a day just, trying to be self-aware, relax, trying to work with recovery. How important do you believe that side of that whole, whether people do visualization, whether they do meditation? What are some of your thoughts on the mental side of, like you first mentioned, reducing anxiety, feeling better, having a better attitude?
Oh, absolutely.
Performing better.
Yeah. I mean, listen, in order to cultivate a strong and healthy body, it requires nourishing food, regular exercise, adequate rest, and time to say to yourself, I can be the best I can be. Because I like that statement because it doesn't say I will be, because you may not be, but you can be. And you have to go and try your best. And to do that, you have to connect with your inner self through meditation, mindfulness.
It's interesting you mentioned mindfulness. 20 years ago when I had people on my show talking mindfulness, medicine didn't know how to spell it. Let alone,
that's funny.
Including mind-body. Medicine was injections and surgery and pills. And, today you can't go 5 minutes, and this is such a big deal with the youth also. You can't go 5 minutes without on television or social media without seeing either a diet plan or a pharmacy.
Which is sad. That's so sad. And the best medicine is movement. And that's the number one thing you can do. When a baby is born, first thing they do is they move. Usually they might, be sucking their thumb or moving their foot or kicking. And movement is and which is why I love yoga. It's exactly what everybody movement needs to do. When you're feeling
and
that
you have a lot of
midday,
choices. Again, I'm a big, tremendous walking fan on the Sports Doctor for a million years. Families can be participated. Parents could be a great example. Weight control will be if you walk every day, a few times a week, you'll never be overweight. And again, we made a big deal. Yes. The Sports Doctor has featured the challenge of childhood obesity forever. And it's still a major problem, as it is in adulthood, this whole diet-related scenario. And that's why I'm so glad you mentioned the term nutrition right out of the box when, again, you were talking about some of these components that we really, really need to be. Again, whether you're the best athlete in the world or you are just you're a weekend warrior, or, again, you have a son or daughter and you want them to be active. And, again, the challenge of social media is these kids are on a screen 4 or 5 hours a day. This is a big challenge that we have to really, really pay attention to.
And the computer is a big, huge problem.
Brutal.
Because you're sitting, which is why you need to have a bottle of water by your side, because if you're drinking the water, you're going to have to get up to go to the bathroom. So it's one way to get people up. But, yeah, it is a problem because we've turned very sedentary in our lifestyle in this world. And that's something that not every country is like that. But in America especially, the first thing you hear when you go somewhere is have a seat. I'll be right with you. Why don't you sit down? Or why don't you sit over there? And that's not really healthy. I know you sometimes do have to wait for things, but hey, if you're in the grocery store and you're waiting in line, why not do some toe rises and do a few hip twists? And people might look at you funny, but that's okay. Just smile back. They'll wind up smiling too, and maybe they'll try it also. But it's better than just standing there or just sitting down.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've written about pickleball and lower extremity review. In 2021, my article on pickleball was how physical it was, and people needed to be. And again, no one knew how to spell the word pickleball. It was
wow,
new.
That's funny.
And it was, seniors were picking it up, but they didn't realize it's physical. You're moving, you're stopping, you're going in different directions, and in many instances, again, it's about the areas that are so important on the Sports Doctor, Marjorie, again, which is awareness, whatever we're talking about. The importance of paying attention to whatever we're talking about, education, and the idea of, that's why I like the term, I like this diplomacy side of things, regardless whether it's the parents and coaches getting along, the teammates, the idea, again, of how important these interactions can be when it comes to mental health.
And it's also like the 3 parts of physical fitness. To be fit doesn't mean to be a perfect athlete. It means to be fit in your mind and your body is doing cardiovascular exercises, which is a fun thing. It means running, jumping, moving around, flexibility. Are you stretching? Are you maybe hanging from a bar? That's like the best thing to do.
Yes.
Just
and what's interesting, Marjorie? Pardon my French. People can't be pissed off when they're exercising. Very difficult to have an upset mindset while you're doing the activity. It's so much easier to feel good about it. And again, it's become such a big part of health and wellness. Again, the word wellness is such a big deal, and there's no doubt about it. The mental side is huge. This is why I think areas so like agree. Yours, yes. America Connected, great term.
Thank you. And connecting through actually working out together, whatever it is you choose to do, just to go out and do some physical activity, it is literally impossible to come back in a bad mood because your endorphins start moving and everything is hooking back up, your neurons, and you get a smile in your body, not just your face. Because
smile in your body is smile in your body is a great image to end our discussion here. We're talking again, Marjorie Hope. Marjorie, give us again. They go to your site. What is it?
It's MarjorieHope.com. And if you want to email me, it's MarjorieHope@itsMarjorieHope.com.
Great. Thank you so much, Marjorie Hope. Hold on. We'll be right back, everybody, with the Sports Doctors In segment.